Hi everyone. Good evening. My name is Ismael Campuzano. Then I will answer the question proposed according to the reading chosen. I decide to read about the history of room 13. Does the story have a theme? What is the story about? What is the central idea? Is it implicit or explicit? Well, hmm, I think the subject of the story is about suspense and intrigue. There are things to discover, so it is interesting to continue reading to know the outcome of this. The story is about a man named Anderson, who is apparently a writer on the history of ancient towns and villages. He arrives in a village in Denmark called Viborg, which was destroyed by a great fire and where fuel construction remain. Among them an inn called the Inn of the Golden Lion, uh, where mysterious things happen like scares, enchantments, and strange noises. The curious things about this in is that it does not have a room number 13 because people think that this number is bad luck, and from this even is where all these mysterious things happen. Mm, the central idea of the story is about the golden lion inn where mysterious things happen, especially signs there is no room number 13, but that Anderson usually sees, and this appears and disappears, and this inside it where strange things happen. Uh, Apparently, it is an enchanted construction, and about a man will lie in the city of Viborg. Nicholas Franken, who seemed to be a sorcerer, or would consider the people of the town, and with one is probable. Um, there is a relation between his disappearance and the strange things that they happen in room 13 and the Golden Lion Inn. I consider that history is explicit because it's expressed in a clear and direct way the strange events that occur in the inn, noises, disappearance, visions. Who is the protagonist of this story? And try to establish his age, family background, social class, and status and occupation. Um, the protagonist of the story is Anderson, a writer who investigates the history of ancient towns and cities. I consider that it can be a man between the 30 and 35 years old, a single middle class writer of the history of ancient town and cities. There is no clarity about their family history. Uh, what is the problem present in the story? Was the problem solved at the end? Well, there is an inn that seems to be delighted. Apparently, there is room 13 because gets considered is a bad luck number, but Anderson, the writer who stays there, see the doors to room 13 in the evenings, and in these strange happenings happen and noise are here, and the problem is The problem is to find out if there really is a room 13, and if there is a guest in it, and if there is a relation of these events with Nicholas Franken, a man who considered a witch and then disappeared from the town. The problem seems to be solved by fighting box that was between Rome's 12 and 14, and containing some ancient writings in a foreign language, uh, who seems deemed to be blood. They could be writing by Nicholas Frankens, perhaps rise or spells. Mm. At what point in this story is the tension hides? Is that the dramatic climax? Mm. The most dramatic point is when Anderson, the owner of the inn and the guest of room 14, Mr. Jensen, meet face to face, waiting to know where a loud noise comes from, and when they are in the hallway, they see the room 13 from this connecting arm, hiding and with long nails that then hide it again. Mm. All these men were frightened, and the owner brings some men to knock down the door of room 13, and when they hit with their axes, there is no door, but only a wall. Mm. Does the story involve an epiphany of moment on inside revelation or self realization for the protagonist, or for the reader? Mm. How is this moment present? Well, the protagonist Anderson tries to know the history of a town called Vibor, but a great fire destroyed much of the city and also the records of it. When he begins to read the few records that exist, he realizes that there was a man who lived in that city, and whom he considered to be a witch, Mr. Nicholas Franken. Uh, this disappeared later and was no longer known. Interestingly, in the um, mm, lion um, lion, where Anderson stayed to begin to happen strange things. There is Rome 13. After several days, this manifestation occurs. Anderson, the owner, and Mr. Jensen see room 13, and from this comes a teen arm, uh, hairy and with long and dirty nails, that then disappears. After they try to knock down the door of room 13, is had disappeared, and there was only one wall between room 12 and 14. Under the floors they found a box that contained some old documents, and in a strange language, possible written with blood, and that possible word of Nicholas Frank. Mm. That's all. That's all. Thank you so much, and see you soon.